If you're between 45 years old and 60 years old, there's a really good chance you've been doing everything you were told to do financially exactly the way you were told to do it. You were told to work hard, save money, contribute to your retirement account, pay your bills, pay down your debt, and yet retirement still feels, well, further away than it should be. Now, maybe you've got a mortgage. You might have a car payment, few credit cards, and you've got some money in a 401k. And on paper, everything looks okay. But deep down, you're wondering, how is it possible that after decades of hard work, decades of following the rules, you still don't feel financially free? What if every car payment you ever made, what if every mortgage check you ever had to write, and what if every credit card payment that you made eventually came back to you? What if instead all that money disappearing forever, what if it was quietly building something on your behalf the entire time? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about building wealth through your own debts and expenses. You see, I've worked with thousands of families over the years, and I've noticed something interesting. Some people become debt-free, but they still struggle financially. I know, it's hard to believe. And others become debt-free and they seem to gain momentum year after year after year. At first, I thought it's got to be income. I thought it was investment knowledge. Then I thought, well, must be luck. But I don't really believe in luck, and it wasn't that either. The difference came down to one thing, and that was what they were building while they were eliminating debt. Now, if you've ever followed Dave Ramsey, you've heard the message: get out of debt.
We're getting out of debt. We're getting out of debt. We're getting our life back.
Debt is a problem. Nobody's arguing that. But let me ask you a question. What are you left with when all the debt is gone? Think about that for just a second. If it takes you 5 years to eliminate all of your debt, what exists at the end of those 5 years? Because that's where most people get stuck. They spend years climbing out of the hole. Then they realize that they've still not built any wealth. They have no money. You literally have arrived at zero when you're out of debt. They still have to prepare for retirement. They still have to protect their family. They still have to figure out where their money should go next. And that's where today's conversation begins. Because Dave helps people get out of debt. We help people get out of debt too. The difference is what you're left with when the debt is gone. You see, most debt strategies focus on eliminating debt, and that's great. But our strategy focuses on eliminating debt while simultaneously building an asset. In other words, building wealth. So 5 years later, both people may be debt-free, but only one of them has spent the last 5 years building an asset and building wealth. That's the difference. I'm not here to just give you theory today. Later in this video, I'm going to actually open up one of my policy statements. I'm going to show you the actual numbers. I'm going to show you everything. And it's not even one of my best policies. The real figures include a 34% cash-on-cash return for that policy we're going to look at. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it all works. So here's the trap. Most people think debt is the problem. It's not. Debt is a symptom. The real problem is money flow, cash flow. Think about your entire financial life. Every paycheck that comes in, what happens with it? You pay your mortgage, you pay your car payment, you pay your credit card, your insurance, your utilities, your taxes, everything else. But when you do that, everything flows away from you. Every month, every year, for decades, and every time money leaves your family, it never comes back. That's the part most people never stop to think about. But that's also what keeps most people on the hamster wheel. You finance a car. Let's just do that one. You finance a car, and the payment you made, it left. It's gone. You finance a house. The payment you make, it's gone too. Credit cards, gone. Student loans, gone. The financial world has trained us to become excellent payers. Woohoo! Good job. Good job. But terrible owners. You see, we've become experts at sending money away, giving up control of it. And that's exactly why so many people still feel stuck even when they're debt-free. Because the harder they work, the faster the money leaves. It's habit. It's habitual. Which brings us to the next question. How do wealthy people do it differently? See, for years, I've studied wealthy families, not influencers, not the social media gurus who you think are wealthy and they're really just rich. I'm talking about families that have stayed wealthy for generations, and I've noticed something. I've noticed that they were obsessed with returns. They were obsessed with control. Control of capital, control of liquidity, control of cash flow, and also they were obsessed with principal protection. Money is more valuable when you control it, definitely more valuable than when somebody else controls your money for you. You see, they built systems that allow their money to circulate inside their financial world. Notice how I said their financial world, not someone else's. And they did that instead of constantly having money flow out of their family. Let me give you two names. John D. Rockefeller, that's probably the wealthiest American who's ever lived. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. You see, Rockefeller, he wasn't asking, how do I get rich? He was already rich. The question he was asking was different. He was asking, how do I make sure my wealth survives me? Think about that. And the answer wasn't, well, here's the stocks that I picked. It wasn't a mutual fund. It wasn't a brokerage account. It wasn't Dave Ramsey's magical 12% fund. You see, he built a system that could transfer wealth, liquidity, and control from one generation to the next. He stored his wealth in whole life insurance policies. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but that's exactly what he did. And he instructed his family to do the same thing. So for 5 generations, the Rockefeller family is still wealthy. And it's not because of the stock market. It was because of a private banking system that he built, and one that he built to outlast a single lifetime. Now let's use the second name, J.P. Morgan, the most powerful banker in American history. So when Morgan died, a significant portion of his entire estate was held in life insurance policies. Think about that. The greatest banker in history trusted it, done. And it wasn't just a strategy for the billionaires and the multimillionaires. It was a strategy that worked for business owners, for farmers, real estate investors, families. People have used the same principles for generations. It's no secret anymore. And it's not because they wanted higher returns, it's because they wanted more control. See, key word, control. Now here's the part that changed everything for me personally. When I learned this, I started asking different questions. Not how do I get rich like the Rockefellers, just what if I could use the same principles in my own life? Would that change things? But I wasn't a billionaire, I wasn't a banker, I was just a regular guy trying to build a better financial future for my family. That single question changed everything. But before I show you what I found, I need to show you what you're actually up against. There are 5 major threats facing almost every American, especially Americans that are approaching retirement. And all 5 of these work against you at the exact same time. And until you name them, you can't fight them. So let me ask you this. What are you left with when all your debt's gone, but you have these 5 threats still standing? Threat number 1, market volatility. You can spend 20 years building your retirement account and then watch a huge chunk disappear during a downturn. You know that feeling? Monday morning, something happened over the weekend. It could be a war, an election, who knows, a Fed announcement. And years of your growth evaporate overnight. That stress has a major cost, and it goes way beyond money. It's a mental stress. It costs you sleep. It costs you peace. Threat number 2, inflation. I like to call this one the silent thief. The 20-year average inflation rate in America is roughly 3.4%. That means if your money isn't growing faster than 3.4% every year, well, you're getting poorer. But you're getting poorer silently. Every single day that goes by, even if your account's growing, inflation is quietly reducing what your money actually buys. Go to the grocery store. You don't need me to show you fancy charts on this. You're gonna feel it. Threat number 3, taxes. This always gets people fired up. You work hard for that money, right? Then the government takes what, 25, 30, maybe even 39 cents of every single dollar that you've earned. And then when you finally have that money pulled from your paycheck to go into your 401k, how's that working out? No, they take it again. It's not tax-free. They take it again. They tax it on the way out. They tax it on the way in. Most people have no idea what future tax rates are going to look like, but yet most people's retirement plan depends entirely on the unknown. Number 4, longevity. People are just living longer. That means money has to last longer. If you live longer, your retirement dollars need to last longer. The average American is retiring at the age of 62, and the average retirement savings for someone 55 to 64 right now is, drum roll please, a whopping $185,000. Now, I'm not laughing at that. That's not a laughing matter. That means if you retire at age 62 and you live to age 85, that's 23 years. Take $185,000, divide it by 23 years, that's $667 a month. After a lifetime of work, that's the math that nobody's showing you when you're 35 and starting the 401k. Threat number 5, debt. This is the one Dave Ramsey talks about all the time. And you know what? He's right. Debt destroys financial progress. He is absolutely right. But there's a critical point here. Even if you eliminate all your debt, the other 4 threats, they still exist, which brings us back to that question we started with. What are you building while you're eliminating debt? Now, there is a 6th threat. It's kind of like the 6th sense. And this is the one nobody wants to talk about. Every single day, your money is losing ground. Inflation is eating your savings. Debt is draining your income. And the financial system, it was never designed to work for you. But there is a way out. And the wealthy have known about it for decades. I'm hosting a free live training where I'll show you exactly how to eliminate debt like the wealthy do, how to preserve and protect your capital from the forces working against it, and how to build a clear step-by-step path toward true financial freedom. No gimmicks, no fluff, just a proven system that puts you back in control of your financial future. Seating is limited and it is completely free, but you need to act now. Click the link below or scan the QR code to reserve your spot today. The wealthy don't wait, neither should you. Now let's get back into the video. Now there is a 6th threat. You're being pushed out. So what does that mean? Well, it means if you're age 45 to 60 and you're counting on your W-2 income to dig yourself out, which is what most people are doing, you're gonna need to hear this. That income is not as secure as you think, especially right now. Look around your workplace. The next generation, that's coming for your job. The next generation is coming for your job and taking your job right now. They'll do it for less money. They'll figure it out faster as well. And if the next generation isn't what's worrying you, AI, you should be worried about that, because right now, AI is replacing knowledge workers faster than any generational shift ever has. The jobs that used to require 20 years of experience, AI is learning to do them in 20 seconds, and that's gonna get faster. And companies know it. That's the part that stings the most. If you're making good money and you're at the top of your pay grade, your employer knows that. And your employer knows that number that you get paid better than you do. When cuts need to be made, you would hope that for your years of loyalty, you're protected. But the data is showing otherwise. Workers over 50 years old face significantly more risk in being targeted and downsized than their younger colleagues. And it makes sense. I mean, come on. When someone is over 50 years old, loses their job, the average job search takes nearly 40 weeks. 40 weeks without a paycheck. Can you survive? 40 weeks without your benefits. 40 weeks without 401k contributions. Loyalty does not guarantee stability in today's corporate world, and it really never did. Now, I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because the people who see this coming are the ones who build something that doesn't depend on someone else's payroll. A system. That's what we're talking about. A system that you own, a system that you control, that nobody can take from you. Not your employer, not the market, not recessions, and definitely not AI. Not even a pink slip on Friday afternoon. That's what we're building right now. Now, let's face it, most people spend their lives financing everything. Matter of fact, you finance everything, whether you pay cash or you take a loan for it. Cars, homes, education, vacations. The question isn't whether you're going to finance things. You're going to. Everybody does. The question is, who's benefiting from your financing? Is it you? Probably not. It's probably someone else, right? And that's the moment where people begin to see this differently in what I said. Who is financing your life? Most people get paid, then they pay their bills, they pay their debt, save whatever is left. The savings usually ends up sitting in a bank. earning almost nothing. I don't know, banks don't pay much. Meanwhile, the bank is taking those deposits and they're lending them out at 6, 7, 8%. And it gives you about what, 0.5%? They're making 400 to 1,300% more than you are on the money that you worked for, the money that you deposited there because you gave up control of that money. So let me propose one change. Instead of your savings going to the bank first, it should go here. A specially designed and engineered whole life insurance policy from a mutually owned life insurance company that pays dividends, not an off-the-shelf whole life policy, not the one Dave Ramsey talks about all the time. I'm literally talking about a policy that is specially designed and engineered for your situation so that from day one you have access to your cash value. The moment the money enters the policy, your premium goes into your policy, it starts earning a guaranteed interest rate. And that guaranteed interest rate never changes ever. Contractually, it earns dividends every single year from the mutually owned life insurance company. And that dividend has been paid every single year for well over 100 years. Matter of fact, they've never missed one. Now, dividends are not guaranteed like the interest rate, but they've never missed one. And that growth, if designed properly, is tax efficient. It is tax-free internal buildup of the cash value. And let's go one step further. It's protected against judgments and liens in most states. That's another big one. It's private. Let's say you have $10,000 in debt, and let's pay this off the old way. You go to the bank, they check your credit, they charge you interest, that money leaves your life and it never ever comes back. Where the new way that I'm proposing is you take a loan against your policy, you eliminate the debt. Now this is the part where it changes everything, so don't miss this. While the loan is outstanding, your cash value is still sitting in your whole life policy. It's still earning, still growing, completely uninterrupted by the loan you took because you borrowed the money from the insurance company's general account. Your money never actually left. So think about what's happening. Simultaneously, your debt is shrinking and your policy is earning. And the spread between what your policy earns and what your policy loan costs you, that spread is working in your favor every single month. It's kind of just like a bank. Bank pays you X on your deposit, charges you Y, makes the spread. I know, it sounds like banker magic, but it's not. It's actually just basic math. Basic math that banks have been using every single day for over 100 years. Now, let me show you what this looks like with real debt. One thing you have to understand is you're redirecting the payment that you used to make on your debts back into the policy as a loan repayment. But every single dollar you put back, that recaptured payment, reduces your loan balance, which reduces the interest being charged on the policy loan. This widens your spread automatically. It's just math. You're accelerating your growth month after month, year after year. Your debt is shrinking, your asset is growing, and it's all happening at the same time. You are literally recapturing all the money you used to give away. That's why I say you can build wealth through your own debts and expenses. You're not just paying off debt. You're paying off debt while your money never stops working for you. And here's the compounding effect that most people miss. When your first debt is gone, you take those exact payments that were going to that creditor, you redirect them to the next debt. Faster payoff, more recapture, more growth. And then the next debt, and the next debt, until they're all gone. That's why, going back to the two families, that's why the family using the recapture ends up in a completely different place. Because they're not just debt-free starting at zero, they're debt-free with a growing, accessible, tax-free banking system. It's a huge difference. Now let me show you something real. Here is one of my original policies. You see, when I started this policy, I wasn't trying to become wealthy. I was trying to stop feeling like I had to start over every time life happened. And life always happens. My monthly deposit into my policy was $570.21. $570 a month. Over 12 years, I put in that $570 a month. My cash value today, where is it? Well, $74,518. That's where it's at today. In other words, I have access to nearly every single dollar I deposited right now. today. No application, no credit check, no questions asked. Plus, I have a death benefit that has grown from $200,000 to now $242,000 without me doing anything extra. And this year alone, my policy grew by over $9,000 on a deposit of less than $7,000. And while that was happening, I was also using my policy to finance my life. I was buying cars using this policy, doing business expenses, but this policy also, because it was one of my early ones, helped me pay off my debt and recycle and recapture all the money I gave away. You see, every time I borrowed from this policy, it kept growing as if I never touched the cash value. You see, I stopped starting over. I stopped rebuilding from zero every time life happened. That one change changed everything. Now, Dave Ramsey says this is the worst place to put your money. These are my actual numbers from my actual policy statement. I'll let you decide, but let me read you something from this policy statement. And I'll actually show it. So we'll put this up on the screen. During the past year, your base plan guaranteed cash value increased $6,888 from $53,648 to $60,536. In addition to this increase, your annual dividend was $2,323. Now, hold on, let's just add all that up. Remember, over the course of the year, I put $570.21. It says annual policy premium $64.66, but I actually put $68.42.52 in for the year. So let's add the numbers up. Remember, my guaranteed cash value increase was $6,888. My dividend was $2,323. That's $9,188.23. Subtract the premium deposit that I put in, which was $6,842.52. That means my net gain, net of commissions, net of policy service fee, net of cost of insurance, is $2,345.71. That's a 34.2% cash on cash return. Take the net gain, divide it into the amount I put in, $6,842.52. There you have it. But just think about that, right? I put in $6,842.52. That was how much I deposited. After 1 year, 12 months, I had $9,188.23. But yet Dave Ramsey says this is a terrible place to put your money. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it. I've been using this thing all the years I've had it, which is 12 years. I didn't just leave the money sit. That's the part you have to understand. And yet, even though I used all the money year after year after year, the cash value, that $74,518.33 is still earning for me. It never missed a beat. Still earning guaranteed interest, still earning dividends in a tax-free environment. That's the proof. And it's right here in this illustration. Now let's answer the question we've been asking this entire video. What are you left with? What are you left with when your debt is gone? If you've used Recapture, here's what exists on the other side of year 5. No penalties for accessing your money, ever, for any reason. No taxes on the gains if it was built properly. You got protection from judgments and liens in most states on the money that you've built up. You got a guaranteed interest rate that never changes. It's locked in till the day you die. You got dividends paid every single year from that company that hasn't missed one in well over 100 years. You got a death benefit that has been quietly growing the entire time, which protects your family and your legacy long after you're gone. And you've got uninterrupted compounding interest. Even while your money is out to work in the world, buying cars, financing vacations, fronting medical bills, funding your kids' education, yes, college education, whatever you need, your money goes out there and your policy keeps growing as if you never left. Now, let's go back and look at the 6 threats. Market crashes. Your policy doesn't move at all, okay? It doesn't get affected by volatility. Okay, then the other one was inflation. Your guaranteed growth and dividends, the growth on those, we call it your internal rate of return, outpaces that long-term inflation. Your growth inside the policy is tax-free if it's designed properly. That moves me on to taxes. The internal buildup of your cash value, your growth inside your policy, well, it's tax-free as long as it's built properly. Longevity, your system keeps building as long as you keep funding it. And even like I showed you in mine, even if you stopped funding it, if it was a paid up policy, it still continues to grow. And then you got debt, one of those threats. It's gone. But it was gone in the other scenario too, but both of them have you debt-free. But along with being debt-free, you've built something while you were eliminating it. Job loss? Well, you have liquidity. You have options, you have time. And this is the part most people miss. The family that simply eliminated debt, they have to start solving these problems after the debt is gone. They lost 5 years. The family that built the banking system and has been preparing for them the entire time, that's the difference. That's what we've been talking about for the last 25 or so minutes. Not whether your debt disappears, because both strategies accomplish that. The difference was what's left when the debt is gone. So here's what I want to do right now. Grab a piece of paper, any piece of paper. Write down every single debt that you have. Write down every balance, every payment, and also the interest rate you're paying on those loans. Don't judge it, just write it down. Then ask yourself one question. 5 years from now, what do I want to be left when the debt is gone? And if you'd like help answering that question, click the link below or give us a call, 866-329-BYOB. We'll put it right on the screen. Talk with one of our money mentors. No pressure, no obligation, just a conversation about your numbers and what's possible, because we can show you the future. You're not too late. That's one thing I want you to know. You're definitely not too late. You're not too old either. And your best financial years may still be ahead of you. And if you like this video, you're going to love this one right here. Following this process will allow you to transfer your debt. You'll love it.